Leader has lost his life after an explosion at his residence in Bengal's East Medinipur. Now, the TMC leader Arjun Manna has lost his life in the blast. However, the reason is yet to be ascertained.
Times Now is reporting from Naduabhila, which is under Bhupatinagar police station, under Bhagabanpur block 2 in East Midnapur district. This is the same. Nagar police station under Bhagwanpur block 2 in East Midnapur district. There was a massive sound of explosion early this morning, and that sound literally shook up the entire village and the neighborhood. It's a very humble village that was shaken by the massive sound of explosion that happened in the wee hours of Saturday morning. The explosion sound emanated from this very house, this very property, and there are telltale signs of the explosion that had triggered the destruction and the damage of this property. Who does this property belong to? This property belongs to a gentleman called Rajkumar Manna. Who is Rajkumar Manna? Rajkumar Manna is a Trinamool Congress booth president, and there are documents suggesting that, legal documents suggesting that Rajkumar Manna used to stay here, and this property legally belongs to Rajkumar Manna. Now, this entire property is in a mess now because there had been a massive explosion. The nature and the character of the explosion is yet to be confirmed by police. But then imagine the kind of impact the explosion has had. The entire thatched roof is blown apart. This side, you have this thatched roof completely blown apart, and the outcome is even more devastating. At least 3 people have lost their lives, including Rajkumar Manna, his own brother Lalu Manna, and there is another person called Mr. Gayan who has also lost his life. Now, when you come here, you are greeted with the smell of explosion, and there are telltale signs of explosion out of explosives. Now, what are the kind of explosives? That's something still under the subject of investigation. But at this point in time, what you can show you, this property which belonged to Rajkumar Manna is completely blown apart. 3 people died, including Rajkumar Manna, who is the Trinamool Congress booth president, and the person had died because the explosion happened early this morning, and the explosion had in a way blown apart the entire house, including 3 bodies which fell around this house in a scattered manner. Now, all these bodies have been recovered, sent for post-mortem. 2 other injured people have been taken to hospital for treatment. But at the moment, yes, what police haven't really confirmed what triggered this explosion. Were they crude bombs? Because mind it, East Midnapur has seen a very strong political fight back in 2021 during election. East Midnapur also has Contai, which is known to be the home turf of Suvendu, Adhikari, BJP's leader of opposition. East Midnapur's Contai is the same place where Trinamool Congress National General Secretary Abhishek Banerjee is all set to hold a public meeting, a political public meeting this afternoon, today. And in fact, this explosion happening hours before that political public meeting of Abhishek Banerjee has also brought in the political fight between Trinamool Congress and BJP. BJP is alleging this is nothing but another example of bomb factory which had allegedly mushroomed in the state of West Bengal, calling it nothing but an act of self-destruction, alleging that Rajkumar Manna and others were engaged in making bombs, and thus the explosion happened. Thus the responsibility solely lies on Trinamool Congress. What is Trinamool Congress countering with? Trinamool Congress, on the other hand, is saying that this explosion has happened, and also it kind of highlights an admission on part of Suvendu Adhikari that crude bombs, if they were there with a purpose meant to be hurled at Contai, where Abhishek Banerjee, Trinamool Congress National General Secretary, was set to hold a political public meeting. Who is speaking the truth? We cannot really confirm. What was this explosion all about? We cannot confirm. Was it crude bomb or something else? Again, a subject of investigation. Police haven't confirmed as yet. But then what is most shocking to witness, if this is an act of crime, or if this is the place of occurrence, PO, in the common parlance of crime reporting, what you've learned, if this is PO, the place of occurrence where an incident has happened, this area has to be secured. Look around. Do you find a single policeman? The answer is a big no. The answer is a big no. There are villagers who are standing over there. Anyone can walk up to this property. Anyone can go inside. Anyone can touch anything which is available, which in a way can also destroy the remnants of evidences. When pieced together, can lead you as what possibly had been the nature of the investigation. But then, as we report, very responsibly, not really getting inside the property and not touching basics which can tamper with the evidence, which we can tell you as you walk in here, you are greeted with the smell of explosive. That's one. Second of all, the impact of the explosion had been so massive that the entire thatched roof is gone. 3 people died. This portion is completely devastated. There is nothing which you can actually confirm to be in one piece that had been the nature of the outcome of the explosion. What triggered it is still unknown. Who is responsible for this yet to be known. But then, why isn't police here? It's a question bothering many. With video journalist Sudarshan Parida here in East Midnapur. This is Tamal Shah for Times Now.
Tamal getting us the latest about this particular incident, but we also have Adhirija who's continuing to track this particular story for us and get us the latest development. Adhirija, good afternoon. In the sense of the political front, if we were to talk about it, Suvendu Adhikari has stated, or rather asked for an NIA probe into this particular investigation. In fact, even Dilip Ghosh has gone on to state that only bomb-making industry is flourishing in the state. So these are, of course, the political comments that are coming in. But on the other hand, the TMC is silent on this particular matter. What are you learning on that front? Has any senior leader commented on this particular incident as yet?
Well, yes, so the TMC have broken their silence. They have actually commented on a tweet which was made by Suvendu Adhikari earlier, where Suvendu Adhikari has accused the TMC of making bombs and have said that the explosion took place due to the bombs, and the TMC leader have retaliated to his tweet stating that, if Suvendu Adhikari is so sure that the explosion took place because of the bombs that were kept there, the explosives that were kept there, then they are blaming that he must be behind the blast that took place earlier this morning today, where 3 people have lost their life, including a TMC president. And also another thing is that Abhishek Banerjee is holding a rally in the same area where the explosion took place this morning, and therefore that has brought in new controversy. Suvendu Adhikari on counter is holding another rally in Abhishek Banerjee's Lok Sabha constituency in Diamond Harbour, and therefore just right ahead the panchayat elections, the tension is going on. Bengal panchayat election is scheduled earlier next year, and therefore public rallies are happening. The High Court, Calcutta High Court, have given orders to both of these political parties to hold public rallies today at 2 different locations. But yes, this blast taking place in the area where Abhishek Banerjee is about to hold his public meeting today, and Suvendu Adhikari is also holding his public meeting as counter to Abhishek Banerjee's in his constituency. So everything together adding up, fighting for the panchayat election ahead early next year, scheduled to be held, is interesting to see. But yes, the explosion took place. The exact reason of the explosion is yet to be confirmed by the police, but there were explosives that were there in the house of the TMC leader where the explosion took place early morning today, and he, including the TMC leader Rajkumar Mannar, has 3 people have lost their lives and 2 people have been injured in the explosion.
Right, Adhirija, appreciate you joining us and getting us those latest inputs on this particular story. Like it's pointed out, the police are, of course, yet to ascertaining the fact as to what really caused this explosion of the fact. On the other hand, if we were to talk about political reactions, the BJP is, of course, hit out. Suvendu Adhikari is also asked for a NIA probe. But moving on to other news that we're tracking.